kidnapping doon, druga dito, druga noon, magulo ang syudad. Yun ang sitwasyon. Pumasok ako ng mayor, nag-warning ako. At ang warning ko talaga ganito, huwag mong gawin yan kasi papatayin kita. So, ang Davao ngayon, maganda na. Tapos naman sila lahat. Napatay naman. Wala naman siguro maragdag. Kung may gusto din, sige. Alam mo, it's a matter of yung karakter iyo yan. Yung karakter ko akin. Yung views mo sa buhay, iyo yan. Yung views ko sa buhay yan. Yung political agenda mo, iyo yan. Meron akong political agenda. Kanya-kanya tayo filosofiya pagtingin sa buhay. Kaya, na-timingan mo lang na kung ako ganito ang utak ko, yung masasamang tao, pasensya. But foremost is really, I protect the innocent at saka yung taong bayan.
Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Mr. President, nabanggit mo kanina na Metro Manila mayors and then siguro mga highly urbanized cities yan. I'm sure in the other places of the country na highly urbanized cities na involved sa droga. When you were president, siyempre yung disciplinary action pwedeng ma-initiate sa office mo. So, did we use the disciplinary provisions in the local government code to discipline the mayors of the highly urbanized cities under the office of the mayor?
Mahirap, sir. Mahirap talaga, sir, because una, matatakot talaga ang mayor. Especially dito sa Maynila. Puro sindikato dito. Kasali na ang pulis, sundalo, kriminal. Ang problema dito sa Maynila, sir, hindi mo malaman kung sino ang kalaban mo. Baka sabihin mo lang kriminal, sindikato, hindi mo alam pati pulis. Yung mga pulis, alam nila yan. Ito mga pulis na dito, yung mga pulis, alam nila yan. No, yung mga tao sila na ganun. Ang problema, hindi nila basta-basta mapaalis. Siguro, i-isolate nila yan, assign nila ng duty na medyo mapalayo, but they can only do so much. Pero paglabas ng opisina yan, sir, may baril, may authority, and they come into contact with criminals, yun ang problema ng bayan.
Mr. President, did we use the disciplinary power or authority of the office of the president over these highly urbanized city local government officials during your term as 6 years? Did you use it?
Mahirap, sir, yung kung mayor.
Yes, mayor. Against a mayor.
Mahirap because yung word na due process, sir, yun talaga. I am not trying to belittle the democratic principles of our country. Pero yung due process, sir, yun ang pinakamahirap. Pagka pinailan mo ng kaso due process, it will take years. At kung may abogado yan, sir, matapos na lang ang termino ng animal, walang mangyari. Kaya, hindi naman ako nagyayabang. Lahat naman tayo may init sa ulo eh.
At 50 plus, umano o umulan, resistensya protektahan sa tulong ng Central Silver Advance.
Pero pag mayor ka, kung sabihin mo, si Mayor Duterte, ilang termino na yan, love siya ng tao. Sinasabi, hindi ko kailangan ang love ninyo. Just obey the law. Huwag na yung love ninyo, hindi ko kailangan yan. marami akong lab sa labas. Naglalab. Ang problema dito, sir, is when you are a mayor, dito na lang tayo sa mayor, pag hindi takot ang tao sa iyo, kung sabihin mo lang, huwag yan kasi por respeto sa mayor. Respect is not enough. Dito sa Pilipinas, kung sabihin mo, huwag natin gawin yan por respeto kay mayor. Ibang klaseng tao yan, sir. Medyo yung lasing-lasing siguro, paputok-putok. Yung malasing, pang-pang-pang. Huwag mong gawin niya kasi nakakaya kay mayor. Pero yung kriminal, sir. Yung mga kriminal, hindi yan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Can I take advantage of the presence of the CHI Chairman, Attorney Palpalatok? And thank you for attending us. Very short notice. Sa umaga lang namin siya naimbita. Can you tell us briefly, ano ginagawa ng CHR? Kasi merong unfinished business ang former chairman ninyo. Kanina sinabi niya ni Senator Laila de Lima. Can you tell us briefly what are you doing on the complaints or grievances against the Philippine war on illegal drugs? And maybe siyempre, I'm sure mahaluan mo ng konting overlaps, EJK dyan. Yes, go ahead, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon po. Regarding po dun sa DDS investigation conducted by 10 Chairperson Laila de Lima, yun po ay natapos ng 4th Commission under Chairperson Eta Rosales. Katulad po na nabanggit ni Madam Chair, nagkaroon po ng endorsement sa Ombudsman for the determination of filing of administrative and criminal cases. Regarding the drug war, yun pong 5th Commission under the 10 Chairperson Chito Gascon conducted investigations on killings in relation to the drug war. Meron pong nailabas na report during that time. Ito po yung report on investigated killings in relation to the anti-illegal drug campaign. Nailabas po ito noong April 2022. Subalit, ito pong report na ito is not on the determination on accountability. It's more on policy recommendations to different agencies of the government. Pero tinignan po kung meron pong paglabag sa karapatang pantao. And ang conclusion po doon sa report na yun is there is a violation of human rights, particularly right to life. And it's the failure of the state to address the problem. Wala pong, sa report kong yun, wala akong determination kung sino accountable. That's why ito kong aming commission ngayon, the 6th Commission, formed a task force para kung tignan ulit yung mga kasong iniimbestigahan ng komisyon and to determine ang accountability naman kung sino yung dapat managot doon sa mga pagpatay. So ang naging problema ko kasi ng komisyon dito ay yung pong mga kapulisan, they refuse cooperation with the Commission on Human Rights. Ayaw po nilang bigyan ng dokumento ang komisyon. At dahil dito, naging problema ng komisyon ng pag-conduct ng investigation, hindi po namin matapos. And sa ngayon, because of these congressional inquiries, umaasa ko kami na makakakuha kami ng mga bagong ebidensya at finally, ma-close po namin itong investigation na ito.
Mr. Chairman, if I just clarify, work closely with us kung gano'n, and then bigyan niyo kami ng inputs, ano yung mga information na gusto ninyo palang makalap namin. Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Your Honor. Ang isa pong pinaka-importante po siguro sa amin in relation to our investigation, yun pong directive from the Philippine National Police preventing the sharing of information to the Commission on Human Rights on the basis of Executive Order number 2. Yun pong exceptions.
Dated what? EO number 2 dated para ma-situate natin kailan in-issue yan.
It was issued during the time of former President Duterte, Your Honor.
Kaya anong month yan? Basta 2016 to 2022 yan. EO number 2.
Yes.
Sige, go ahead.
So yun po yung naging problema kasi yung police po, nung nag-iimbestiga ang komisyon, pumupunta ho sa different police stations kung saan merong nangyaring pagpatay. At humihingi kami ng mga investigation reports, spot reports, kung anong mga ebidensyang available sa police. Hindi ko sila nagbibigay. At iba-iba po yung dahilan. Isa kong dahilan yung EO2. At ang iba pong dahilan, meron ng direktiba coming from the leadership of the PNP na pinagbabawalan makipag-ugnayan ng Commission on Human Rights. Kasama ko yung mga NGOs or human rights workers.
Ano naman documentation ng direktiba from the leadership of the PNP? Anong documentation?
Meron nung sinasite na memorandum from the
What is it? Can you identify the memorandum?
Sir, may I be allowed? Hindi na siguro ako.
Chairman, you will continue, ha? You will continue. You will just allow the President to interject. Yes,
Mabuti itong napag-usapan na rin natin ang puro tayo Pilipino, sir. Pilipinas. Dumaan ako, mayor, congressman, naging presidente ako. So, more or less, medyo kapa ko yung But let me start by saying, talagang hardline na Because siguro sa disiplina rin ng bata pa kami, yung nanay ko na pag nagkasala ka noon, talagang 5 oras ka dyan sa altar na kaganon. So, yung namin, kanya-kanya tayo nung na mayor ako, gusto ko yung tama lang. At gusto ko protektahan yung pamilya ko, the city of Davao, yung mga tao. Dapat mong saktan. Kaya yung mga kriminal na nag-warning na ako, tapos di persisted, lalo na sa droga. Alam mo, sir,
Yes, Mr. Chair. In the interest of time, with all due respect, pwede po bang matanong yung follow-up question sa CHR?
sige,
No, I'm asking Mr. Chair.
Sige po, ma'am. Yeah, Mr. President, sige, thank you for the input. Sige, can we continue with the chair?
Order food with love with Panda. Download the app and order now.
My interpellation would focus on the implementation of infrastructure projects in DepEd. I would like to direct my questions to Mr. Ipimaco Dinsing. Mr. Dinsing, are you still connected with DepEd?
Your Honor, may I, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Epimaco.
I left the
You are
effective
recognized.
September 30, Your Honor,
September 30, 2024.
2024.
Bakit po kayo umalis sa DepEd, Mr. Dinsing?
With the intention of running for public office, Your Honor.
Hindi ba kayo tinanggal sa DepEd?
Hindi po.
Because from what I gathered, you were made to submit a courtesy resignation.
Opo, ahead.
Yes, you did. And your courtesy resignation was accepted.
Tama po yun.
It was short of saying, a conscious way of saying that you are out of the bed. Actually, from the information that I got, nakiusap ka pa na ma-retain dun sa DepEd.
No,
But
hindi
the
po.
administration did not allow it. But anyway,
Yusek Dinsing, may I remind you to please address the chair.
I apologize, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you.
anyway, that is another matter. Kailan po kayo na appoint sa DepEd, Mr. Dinsing?
Effective, yung document is July 18, 2022, and I acted as Chief of Staff until December 31, 2022.
July 18, 2022 to September 30, 2024.
Apo.
So, yung first appointment mo, pagpasok mo sa DepEd, anong binigay na position sa'yo?
Until December 31, Chief of Staff na po ako. Dahil ina-arrange pa yung mga bagong appointments at the time. I was the first appointee at the time, Your Honor.
No, when you entered July 18, were you appointed as Chief of Staff, Undersecretary?
Undersecretary, Chief of Staff, yes.
Undersecretary.
Chief of Staff, yes.
Undersecretary for what?
Chief of Staff.
So concurrent yun, Undersecretary and Chief of Staff.
Tama po. That was the first position.
You served then as Chief of Staff of Vice President.
Tama po yan, as of December 31.
So sabay kayong pumasok.
Ahead lang ba siya? By July 1 po siya o July 18 officially.
Aside from the DepEd portfolio, ano pang government service na napasukan mo na?
Prior to DepEd, I was DILG Undersecretary.
From what year?
From 2018 to 2022, and I entered DILG as Assistant Secretary for Plans and Programs from 2016 to 2018.
Prior to the ILG appointment,
I was from the private sector, Your Honor.
so in short, as a government public servant, you only serve as DILG Assistant Secretary and DepEd Undersecretary.
Tama po yan. 8 years in total, Your Honor.
Aside from being a Chief of Staff, ano pa bang ang designation sa inyo?
Nung first 6 months po, in office, yun lang po. Then when the Matatag agenda was formulated, the form reform areas included infrastructure. So by January 31, during the basic education report, I was announced to take care of the infrastructure strand, newly created, Your Honor.
So what does that cover? You were in charge of the school infrastructure and facilities.
Tama po yun.
Is this a division or department? Or a program? Ano bang ibig sabihin itong?
It's a strand, Your Honor, like the curriculum and teaching strand, like the administration strand. So it's a policy level position, Your Honor.
So what covers? Anong mandato mo dito sa school infrastructure and facilities?
It's to create policy on how infrastructure should be made, creating the long-term strategic direction. Nagkaroon kami ng comprehensive school infrastructure development plan for 2030. Then coordination with DPWH, because the implementer of the new construction of DepEd is DPWH, not DepEd.
Were you involved in the procurement of the school buildings?
No, Your Honor.
But you were in charge of the allocation of the budget of the school buildings.
The identification, Your Honor, we have a committee to do that.
And ikaw ang in charge doon sa identification.
Ako ang in charge, pero sabihin, I had a committee created for the identification.
Okay, ano pa ang mga programs doon sa school infrastructure and facilities?
So it includes, Your Honor, new construction implemented by the DPWH. Then we have the school furnitures implemented by the regional offices. And we have the last mile school, electrification, water systems, and implemented by the division offices.
So if you started in 2022, in short, you handled the budget for 2023 and also for 2024, hindi po ba? For the school buildings.
For the 2023 po, hindi po. The school buildings was under the administration strand. So I only took over 2023.
What was the budget? What was the budget of the 2023 school building program?
The original budget was 5.9 billion. Yun po ang nasa NEP. And it
That
was
was for 2023.
23 po. That i-explain ko yung original po, 5.9 billion sa NEP. It was only limited to 5th and 6th class municipality. Then pagdating po paglabas po ng GAA, nadagdagan po ng 9.7 billion. So a total of 15.6 billion 2023 GAA.
For 2024,
2024 sa NEP po is 19.7. By when the GAA came out, it became 24.7 billion for 2024.
So i-cover din ng SIF yung Basic Education Facilities Fund Programs, hindi po ba?
Opo, tama po yun.
So under din sa iyo yun,
Ang alin po yung
BEFF, the
Opo.
Basic Education
when you say
Facilities
BFF, that's the
Program.
total infrastructure program.
But there is a discrepancy. Sabi mo kanina, 19.7 billion ang allocated.
NEP.
But it states here that in the 2023 GAA, the amount of 23,417,897 pesos was appropriated in the GAA for 2023.
Your Honor, that's BFF. So that includes new construction, which is 15.6 billion, my electrification, my water system, my repairs, around 4.9 billion, and I think last file school. So total of 23 billion, Your Honor.
So you were the one in charge for the identification.
Tama po yun.
Aside from the identification, ano pa ba ang mandato mo as an undersecretary? What exactly is your designation? Undersecretary for what?
Undersecretary-
Operations, for administration?
Starting 2023, Undersecretary for School Infrastructure and Facilities, starting 2023.
So, sakop mo nga lahat ng mga school buildings.
Tama po, tama po.
So, you're the ones who decided sinong bibigyan ng school buildings kasi sabi mo kanina, ikaw ang nag-identify. So, you're the ones, kasi ang proseso po niyan, nagpapadala yung mga school superintendent division or rather the schools division in each district or in each province. They have proposals for the repair or the construction and it goes to your office. And then ikaw ang nag-identify sinong popondohan. Dahil di naman pwedeng pondohan lahat, hindi po ba?
Tama po, tama po.
Correct.
Pero for this purpose, Your Honor, I made sure that it is equitably allocated. That's why in August 4, 2023, we created a National Technical Working Group composed of 4 area managers, members of Education Facilities Division, merong operation strand na outside there's a SIF strand para ho fair ang allocation and based on needs. And there's a criteria. The criteria is 70% should be allocated to those which are in makeshifts, yung talagang walang classroom from the very beginning, and 30% allocated dun sa may shortage, kagaya ng 2 shifts, 3 shifts, yung po shortage po yun. So nakafocus
Mr.
po.
Chair, merong committee na nagde-decide
Tama po yun.
kung sinong bibigyan ng allocation
Opo.
based on the proposed list of the divisions. Di
Tama
ba?
po. We assume na validated na rin siya.
So in short, ikaw talaga ang nagde-decide kung sinong binibigyan.
Once na nagawa na listahan ng yung committee, I just accept it as is because I assume that they follow the criteria that we set.
But I think you're the one who is really deciding because if I recall, during the budget hearing, Mr. Chair, for 2023, ang pinadala po ni Mr. Dinsing during the party consultations, pinadala ng DepEd during the party consultations, if you remember, for every budget hearings, before the pre-plenary budget hearings, may pinapadala po ng mga representative, in most cases it's the secretary. I recall in 2023, during the budget deliberations, kayong pinadala na regarding sa mga school building.
Tama po yun. I remember that was I think 3rd week of August 21 or 22. Tapos at that time, tapos na po yung listahan na ginawa ng National Technical Working Group. I think the list was supposed to be around 15.1 billion. Yun po ang pinresent namin sa consultation.
So in short, you really have a big role. You have the big role in identifying and allocating funds for the different divisions with regards to school buildings. Hindi po ba?
Tama po, tama po.
Ngayon, ang tanong ko, in the 2024 budget or the National Expenditure Program, there was an allocation for Surigao del Sur, in fact 2 districts, One in the amount of 103 million pesos for, if I'm not mistaken, Tagbina National High School, and another 70 million pesos for Barubon National High School. But unfortunately, in fact, there was already a notice from DepEd to DPWH to conduct the biddings already. However, all of a sudden, the biddings were stopped because accordingly, the funds are not available. Paano po nangyari yun, Mr. Chair? Eh, na nakalagay na nga doon sa National Expenditure Programs, pagdating doon sa 2024, eh nawala yung budget.
Ang nangyari po noon, Mr. Chair, sabi ko na-identify na 15.1 billion yung National Technical Working Group, which we adopted as is. Yun po ang pinesent namin sa mga ating congressman.
But Mr. Chair, it was already included in the NEP. Paano mawawala yun?
Ang nangyari po, Mr. Chair, ganito, nung paglabas po ng General Appropriations Bill, yung 19.7 naging 24.7 billion, pero yung 14.7 billion nagkaroon po ng Annex A. In other words, these are the projects identified by the various congressmen. So, yung aming 15.1 nawala. So, since nawala siya, ang una namin ginawa, yung lahat ng may malalaking allocation ng 100 million pataas, yun ang una namin kinat para ma-allocate sa mga maliliit. So, yung aming 15.1 at the time naging 5.8 billion na lamang, lumiit po ng gusto.
So, Mr. Chair, in short, you took it upon yourself to cut the budget without notifying the congressmen. Sabi mo kanina, may mga identification mga congressmen. You took it upon yourself, being the head of the SIF, to cut the budgets of the different proposed school buildings. Yun ba?
That was because there's no more budget in the General Appropriations Bill. We had to cut for that. Everybody will also be allocated.
So how did you decide, Mr. Chair, kung anong kapuputuli, anong tatanggalin doon, anong bibigyan?
Well, ang decision lang muna is patanggalin yung mga malalaki, which is yung mga 100 million pataas, 80 million taas. Because, Mr. Chair, as I already mentioned, that policy was really to go multi-story kasi wala na pong buildable space. Kaya medyo malalaki po yung ating building ngayon to maximize buildable space. So, yun po ang nauna. Yung mga 100 million pataas, 80 million pataas. So, yung natira mga 50, 40 million,
Ayun
two-story,
tinanggal
three-story.
ninyo eh. Yung multi-story, tinanggal ninyo dun sa district ko, Mr. Chair. Yun ang tinanggal ninyo.
Well,
and not only that, there was also a 200 million peso project in district ninyo.
Hindi ako familiar din sa 200 million school building in any school for that matter.
You know what, Mr. Chair? I'll give an explanation bakit ninyo tinanggal. Do you know a certain Mr. Greg Murillo?
Yes, sir. Sir Chair.
Sabi ko kanina, Mr. Chair, the 180 million pesos was already included in the National Expenditure Program. But upon bidding, it was recalled. But prior to the bidding, this Mr. Greg Murillo, who's a close friend of Mr. Dinsing, called me. At itong sinabi niya, kamusta po kayo, Congressman? Sabi ko, mabuti naman. Congressman, meron po lang kayong budget na 170 million pesos para sa district. Sabi ko, yun nga, naka-schedule na for bidding. In fact, binibidding na yata. Sir, pwede daw muna, mag-usap daw muna kayo ni Mr. Dinsing. Those exactly the words of him, pwede tayo magharap-harap tayo. Baka naman pwede makipagkita ka kay Mr. Dinsing. And sabi ko, para saan? Eh, alam mo na, may pag-uusapan kayo. And right there and then, I already knew anong pag-uusapan. Si Mr. Dinsing hihingi ng komisyon. So, I told Mr. Greg Murillo, whom you admitted is your good friend, sinabi ko doon kay Mr. Murillo, why will I give money to Mr. Dinsing when this has already been allocated in the National Expenditure Program? So, I did not entertain that anymore. And Mr. Chair, lo and behold, the funds did not come through. Kinancel yung bidding and then nawala na nga because I did not come across to the request of Mr. Dinsing na humingi siya ng komisyon. And not only that, Mr. Dinsing, hindi lang akong biktima niyan. Marami pong mga congressmen, and for the record, I want to put it in record, maraming mga congressmen na nagsabi din sa akin that you approach them. In fact, there is one congressman in Visayas that you are asking for 18% commission of the school buildings. Kasi ikaw nga ang nagdidesisyon kung sinong bibigyan, sino ang tatanggalan. In fact, it is on record. You just said kanina na ikaw ang nagdesisyon kung sinong tatanggalan, sinong bibigyan. Not only that, sometime last year or probably within this year, you met with some of the congressmen in Manila. I already talked to them. Humarap ka doon, may kasama ka pang contractor. Do you know a certain architect, Ralph Texon?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yung po ang kasama mo nung humarap ka sa congressman sa Manila. And just the same, we're implying you're asking for a commission, hindi lang yun, sinabi mo pa na yung contractor mong gagawa itong si Mr. Architect Ralph Texon. And that is the reason why, Mr. Chair, tinanggal si Mr. Dinsing sa DepEd. He did not resign. I knew from the very beginning that he will be taken out because there were already anomalies in the distribution, in the allocation of school buildings program. In fact, Mr. Chair, nung pag-alis niya sa DepEd, may isa pang inipit na 34 million pesos sa Pisling Central Elementary School, which is in my district. Now, I will not mention anymore the name. One official of the new administration sa DepEd called me. Ano ang sabi sa akin, Mr. Densing? Kung meron ka bang project na 34 million sa Pisling Central Elementary School? Sabi ko, meron. Ano, nakabidding na. Hindi, ni-stop nga eh. Eh sir, ito, ilalabas na namin. Inipit ho ni Mr. Dinsing. And that is the reason why, Mr. Chair, this person was taken out of DepEd because of his anomalous practices in DepEd. Yun po ang katotohanan yan. Nakiusap ka pa na ma-retain ka pero hindi na tinanggap ni Senator Sani Angara, and that's good for DepEd because you have been doing the rounds para ka nang nagbebenta ng isda. Inaalap mo sa lahat ng congressmen ang allocation ng school buildings asking for a commission.
Mr. Chair, may I now respond?
Yes, please.
Well, first of all, it's a blatant lie asking for commission. It is the very reason I'm process-oriented.
Sasabihin mo, Mr. Chair,
Process-oriented po ako,
ang
Mr.
mga
Chair.
congressmen, gusto mo mag-executive session tayo, ipapakita ko sa iyo mga congressmen.
Wala akong nakausap. Yung sa Manila nyo, I was never with Architect Texon.
Order,
I
please.
invite you for
1 minute suspension declared by the chair. Hearing resumes.
Mr. Chair,
Congressman Johnny Pimentel.
it would be useless for this representation to ask further questions to the resource person because he's a pathological liar. What I will do, Mr. Chair, is gather more evidences to prove that what I am saying is true, that Mr. Ipimako Densing is a very corrupt person. He is a kanawag in the public service. He has been asking commissions for the release of funds for the school buildings. Ay papatunayan ko po yan sa next hearing. I'll gather more informations. Ito palang sasabihin ko sa iyo, Mr. Densing. Dapat huwag ka nang bumalik sa gobyerno. The government does not need your kind. You are a very corrupt person making your position to your advantage. Yun lang po, Mr. Chair.
Happy birthday, Ma'am!
Oh, roll back tayo!
Ikaw, naka-price rollback mo, ang Birch Tree Adult Boost. Gatas na formulated para sa adults. Mas affordable na? Pili na!
Good morning po, Madam Chair, Honorable Senator DERETSAHAN and to Honorable Senator Francisco Tolentino, and to all the members of this august body. I come here today to share the truth that has been silenced for 3 decades because of great fear, and this is also on behalf of the many victims who have suffered in silence just like I have. I believe my testimony reflects their pain, struggles, and resilience. While I understand that this is aimed to aid in legislation, I am also grateful to be given this opportunity to inform those who still believe that Apollo Kibuloy has been innocent of the crimes he is accused of because he has never been. At the age of 17, I became a member of the church led by this man, Apollo Kibuloy, in 1980. I was a freshman student. I was eager and active in the community, even spending a significant portion of my college years living at the parsonage where he resided. In 1988, I made a difficult decision in my life to dedicate this to his ministry, driven by the belief that true fulfillment and salvation lay in serving God fully. This choice meant leaving behind my family, my career, and the person I once was. Despite the resistance of family and friends, I pursued my conviction. I joined a pioneering group that struggled to meet needs, but my desire to serve God fueled resistance. Over time, I gained his trust and became a respected worker within the ministry. As the ministry grew, so did our blessings. We experienced answered prayers and expanding membership, which deepened our commitment to serving God. Apollo C. Kibuloy, whom I revered, was considered as God anointed, and his words held absolute authority. I respected him deeply, viewing him as truly the man of God. From the moment I dedicated my life to the ministry until 1993, I experienced profound spiritual awakenings. I felt forgiven, my love for God deepened, and I was proud to serve alongside a man I believed to be holy. But one day when in Manila, I received a long-distance call from him. He informed me that he had received a divine revelation intended for me and instructed me to travel to Cebu, where he would share this important message. He was also scheduled to reach in Cebu that Sunday. Upon arriving in Cebu City, we arranged for him to stay at the Park Place Hotel in Pinti Osmeña. That evening, he instructed me to remain in the hotel, while Nilda Linda, the assigned worker, returned to the worker's house. When we were alone, I asked if I could sleep on the sofa as it was a suite room. Instead, he insisted that I would sleep beside him. And even said in Bisaya, compatible gyud daging e parehas no color atong suot. Translated, we are compatible because our outfits are the same colors. I was wearing red pajamas with white dots, while he was dressed in a red t-shirt and white white pants coincidentally. His words made me feel uneasy and quite nervous, and I saw a different personality in him. But I was quick to dismiss that unusual feeling. And because I had previously witnessed Ingrid Canada or ICC, Teresita Dandan, DDD, and Relina Salinas slept in his room alternately, it led me to believe that it was just normal and harmless. Moreover, we had been conditioned to suppress any negative thoughts about him. We were warned that any suspicion on him would reflect our own personality, using the words found in 1 Timothy chapter 1, I quote, "To the pure, all things are pure. But to those who are corrupted and do not believe, nothing is pure. In fact, both their minds and consciences are corrupted," unquote. And in those days, absolute obedience was a must. We needed to have an anxiety and reverence toward him. Sleeping beside a man I believed to be chosen by God was for me then a great privilege, an opportunity for a sinner like me. But what followed shattered my sense of faith and trust. Without a word, after turning off the light, he embraced me, undressed me, and violated me with his lustful act, and left me in shock and speechless. He then said, "This is the fulfillment of God's revelation." He explained that God had revealed to him that I was to partake in God's life through him by surrendering my body, soul, and spirit. He also mentioned that other girls would go through him in a similar manner. His words were strange, but I was too shocked to respond. The following day after